morning, afternoon, or evening, people, wherever you are, and whatever time you are watching this in Clown World. Hope you're doing really well. I'm going to speak about a topic that's been bugging me a lot recently. Before I do, don't forget, hit the like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, if you'd like to work with me, guys, check out my link or my website, transcendingtimes.org. So, we're often told, especially in the New Age, New Cage, that we create our own reality. And I was thinking about this the other day, and it doesn't make sense, does it? Because if we're all creating our own reality, would any of us choose this as our reality? Like this, on a list of realities that you could choose to create, this is just about got to be at the bottom. I mean, look at the place. We've got wars, we've got, pokes in the arms, we've got this human body that we have to maintain 24 hours a day, make sure it's got enough sleep and fed 2 or 3 times a day, whatever, peeping, pooping. Like having a body is like having a child in and of itself. Um, and then you even look into things like nature. And again, I've said this many times on the channel. People say, "Oh, nature's incredible," and yeah, aspects of it are like walking through the park and sitting by a tree and all of that kind of stuff. But if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you can get hit by lightning. You can get snapped in half by a shark. It's cruel as well. Like tornadoes, hurricanes. I mean, some of that is probably the government, as we know, weather warfare. But even in nature, it's like, would you really create? If you were creating nature, would you really create it where something has to consume something else to survive? Like even that in and of itself is cruel. Like when you see these videos of lions eating an antelope alive, just like eating their stomach while they're still alive and all of that stuff. Like it's just wrong. And then you have illness and disease and all of this stuff, right? So I'm sitting there the other day. I'm thinking, yeah, I don't think I'd create that. I don't. And then I was thinking, I don't think humans would co-create that either. Like, you can imagine we all sat down. Would we choose this? Would we choose to be enslaved by money and having to pay to put a roof over our head and constantly in fight or flight, or it's kept in scarcity? Like, we wouldn't, would we? No one would choose to create this. I wouldn't choose to create this, and actually I feel gaslit when that is thrown at me. And the New Agers, this is how they try and justify evil and make excuses for it. Because if you point out something that's wrong with this place, they will say to you, and they've said it to me many a times, yeah, well, you're focusing on the negative, you create your own reality. What you focus on, you attract, and all of that nonsense. And it is nonsense, because are you telling me that someone that's sexually abused as a child, or a kid in a war-torn country that witnesses his parents get blown up, are you telling me that he created his own reality, or she created her own reality? A young child that gets cancer, what did she do? Was she focusing on cancer? Like, is that what she got? Is that why she got ill? And it's actually a very evil way of looking at it, because again, it's making excuses for this place and how evil it is, and it's putting the blame on us, which is what the Matrix likes to do. Oh, it's your karma. Oh, you need to learn lessons because Earth is a school. And this is another extension of that. Well, it's your fault because you create your own reality. I mean, how does that apply? Like, if you're born in certain countries, like I lived in Cambodia for a while, and I saw kids living on rubbish dumps or trash sites, wherever you're watching this, if you're UK or America, trash stroke rubbish, it's the same thing. And families, rummaging through rubbish. So, what chance have they got of creating their own reality, born in a poverty-stricken country like that, with very few opportunities? Are you telling me that they've just got to sit down, meditate, bring out a vision board, and write all the things that they want to do or they want, and then reality is suddenly going to shift and everything's going to shift into what they want it to be? Because if that was the case, surely we would have done it by now. Surely humanity would have created a different reality. And again, I make the point, it's straight out the New Age, New Cage, which is all about, like I say, blaming us for our difficult experience, for the traumatic experience that we have here. And I've actually had people who I've worked with down the years that actually feel guilty because they feel that, when they believed all of this New Age stuff, that somehow they had drawn in these bad experiences because they had bad karma from a previous life, or they were doing something wrong when it came to creating their own reality. Their thoughts weren't positive enough. They weren't vibrating at the right level. Just keep your vibrations high and everything. You'll just be in the new earth. So there's a lot of guilt and shame and gaslighting with this, because some people are very sensitive and they do take this on as it's a me problem rather than it's a they problem, in terms of, we didn't create this reality. There is no way that we would create a farm for ourselves. I mean, hey, how sadistic would that be? Even if we wanted to learn lessons or, create some sort of cosmic game, it goes beyond that because, it's demonic. We look at what's going on with children and everything like that. There's no way we would choose this as an experience. The Matrix works very hard, especially within the New Age, to get people to believe it's about them, and so it gets carte blanche, it gets a free pass. That's what it's about. Because if you eat the shit sandwich, that you work out that this is a prison and this is a farm, then all of a sudden you might be able to do something about it, or at least, look at exiting this prison or farm, or trying to break out of this prison or farm. But while you still think that you're creating it, or somehow it's your fault or your lessons or your karma, the cycle keeps going round and round. So the penny has to drop that this is a prison and a farm. And can you really create reality? Can you create reality in a prison? If you're in a prison cell, can you create a reality there? You can do things in a prison cell to maybe make yourself feel better. Maybe you could read a book, maybe you could write a book, maybe you could, I don't know, whatever, right? You could do that. But you're still in a prison cell. And this is how I see it. Like, how much of reality can we create in this environment that is set up for us? And again, I'm not telling people to be down and negative and and not have a positive outlook, right? I think that we should look at the truth with a positive mindset. This is why I try and have a joke and a laugh and sing clown songs and talk about shit sandwiches and all of that, right? Because I'm trying to sprinkle a bit of sugar on the topics, right? These are very dark topics, and I'm not discouraging people for wanting better for themselves, for going after what they want, not at all. And in many ways, like we still have to express our true nature, and as much as we can here, and engage in art and music and the things that we love, right? We have to do all of that. But how much of this have we created ourselves, and how much of it can we how much of it can we actually change while it's set up like this? That's my argument, because I believe that this is set up this way, whether or not it's an overlay. An AI is behind it all, which is where I'm leaning to. It's set up for suffering. It's a loosh farm. That's what it is. They feed on our energy, all of our energy. They like our negative emotions, especially. That's why we have all the wars and the famines and the trauma and all of that. So how much of this construct can we change if it's already been set up like that? If the prison has been set up, so I often think like these people that say like these influencers, New Age influencers that tell you that you can manifest your own reality, like like they still have to wake up in the morning and put a roof over their head and food in their tummies. They still will need a slave book to cross a border. Okay, right? They're still bound by the rules and regulations and the way things are set up here. They may have taken a bit of a sugar pill to how they see reality. Maybe it's even spiritual bypassing, but they're still in this reality. They're still in this prison. They've not created something outside of this prison. But it does appear from NDEs and astral well, I'm sure, right? It's from all of those, from lucid dreaming, it appears when we're out of body, we can manifest instantly. We can create realms. I have no doubt about that at all. You can create weapons. We have telekinesis abilities and all of that stuff. It's like if I told you now to close your eyes and design me a landscape with a lake, trees, and mountains. You could almost instantly create that, and then you could revisit that in your mind, and do some kind of relaxation practice where you put yourself there, and so we can definitely create. But whilst we're in this body, while we're in this physical domain is another AI terminology, which again telling you it's AI, source code, domain. How much of reality, how much of getting in the vortex do these people actually create that changes things on a fundamental level, right? Like I say, they may make this place a little bit more palatable, mainly by spiritually bypassing, because they won't look at anything negative. That's their idea of manifestation, is just not to look at anything negative, just to ignore it all, pretend it's not going on, and then you have a better reality. And I get it, right? I mean, it's a great way of copium and hopium, but it's not going to get you to where you need to go. You have to do the work. So yeah, that whole, do we create our own reality? Like I say, can you really create reality in a prison? You've either got to escape the prison, or you take it down from the inside, and then it starts to change. And I'm covering both bases. I'm preparing my exit, but doing the most as I can, to embody that frequency of sovereignty, which I believe could potentially help bring this down on a frequency level. But as far as just thinking woo-woo and my thoughts aren't positive enough, that's why I drew in that car accident. Like what nonsense. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next one soon.